Hello, friends, Romans, and countrymen. My name is Damon Levinsky, and in this tutorial I'll be going over the skinning process for a character. A couple of things. There is a video of mine on HIK, which I go through the whole system of how I set up a rig with HIK and the skeleton for the rig, which I've used for this character here. It's just a very fast rigging system to use, especially if you're a freelance artist. It will cut down a lot of your work time, especially if you're not a professional rigger. So what have I got here? Those of you who haven't seen the videos, I have an HIK rig, which has not been skinned to this character. I've also added a few joints that will basically work on the head, and that's about it. In the video of HIK, I go over the importance of how to set this up, so I won't get into that here. What I will get into is the skinning process. So let's begin. A couple of things. Rule number one: you must have your UVs set up properly. Otherwise, when we'll come to attach different things, or if you UV it later, you will destroy your skinning maps, and that's a pain in the ass, especially because skinning is such a time-consuming process. It is a good idea to UV map everything. Alright, so let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my group that has all my geometry in it, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose everything inside and minus the belt buckle, and all of this is going to be skinned to the body. Now if I just hide for a second everything, as you can see that the teeth, the eyes, and the hair aren't bound, are not going to be bound to the skeleton, but they are going to be parented to the certain joints that they belong to. Why do I do it this way? Because the hair and the eyeballs and the teeth do not need to deform with the movement of the skeleton. They get 100% from each one of the parts. Alright. Now if I did have a rig for the tongue, then I would not parent it to the jawbone, but I'll have it built in into the facial rig. So that's just for your knowledge. Alright, so again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose all of my geometry minus the belt buckle, minus the arms. And the reason I'm not going to skin the arms together with the rest of the body is because I'm going to use a different type of skinning for the arms. Alright, so I'm going to change my modeling, my work system to animation. Alright, and now I'm going to go over to skin, bind skin, and here I got three options. I got smooth bind skin, interactive skinning, and rigid bind skin. Now these two, rigid bind and smooth bind, what they do is, the difference is when you skin a smooth bind, what it will do, it will look at the vertices nearest to the bone, and a few over. Basically, the few over will not have 100% influence from the bone. What we'll do, we'll start from 1 and go all the way down to 0 until a certain distance. The bone next to it will do the same onto the opposite bone, hence creating a sort of smooth bind. Like each bone is a little bit influencing its neighbor's vertices. Rigid bind, what it does is the nearest vertices will get 100% bind to it. So they will have like 100% influence on those vertices. That means when you will move your joints, what will happen is that it will basically break the geometry. Now, rigid bind is good for machines and so on, and that's where you'll use the rigid bind. Now, the interactive skinning bind is, I'll get into that a little later. It's a smooth bind, but it uses a tool that was added in Maya 2012 or 11, I think, which comes from Max, which allows us to interactively sort out the skin weights before we actually go paint the skin weights, and that I'll show you on the arms. Alright, so let's get into the smooth bind skin options, and I'll reset the tool. Alright, so now it says bind to, so automatically it says hierarchy. I could select a joint, object, hierarchy, and so on. We'll just leave it default, because what I do want, I want it to choose just one bone, but I will go through the entire hierarchy and select it. Alright. Bind method, there are 3 types. Closest distance, closest in hierarchy, and hot map. Hot map's the newest addition. It works very well. I just don't like using it because it's very unpredictable. I'll just leave it on closest distance. What it means, it will look at the closest distance, the vertices that are closest to the nearest joint. Okay, skinning method. Okay, this classically in linear, dual quaternion, and weighted balance. I usually use dual quaternion. It's just got to do with how when a joint rotates and the way it calculates where the vertices have to be. And the most important in this here is in the normalization weights, usually it's set to post. What we'll do is we'll put it interactive. Interactive just allows me, when I paint a weight for a joint, let's say 100%, it will remove all other weights from all the other joints. Just sort of overwrites it. And in post, what it will do, will tell this joint to be 100%, but the next joint will keep its original weights and sort of layer the weights on top of each other, which is, it could be nice, but it just makes more work if you need to paint the weights out later. Distance, I'll just leave this normal. Okay, maximum influence is how many joints will be actually influencing the distance. So I usually put here 2 or 3. Alright. And then of course fall off, what I can do, what it means basically, will count 4 units before it starts falling off. So in this case I'm just gonna bounce it down to 2. Hopefully I got this right and I don't have to go up. Sometimes I mix it, sometimes the higher number is actually a lower distance. I just, sometimes mix it up, and we'll see in a minute if I didn't mix it up. So here we're gonna go, I'm just gonna press apply, and it's shouting at me, I forgot to add the joints. So I'm gonna press shift, alright, and press apply, and there we go. We have now successfully skinned our lovely guy here. So I was, like I said, I was wrong with the weights, so I'm going to do undo, undo, and undo, and let's just fix the weights. I'm actually going to go higher. Let's go 5. Alright, so the distance that I want is higher, and you can see it's already better, you see. So it is catching the ear, but we'll sort that out later. Alright, so we're 10 minutes into this video, so I just want to finish up a bit. So now I'm going to choose the arms, and I'll choose the chest bone. And what I want to do is the interactive skin bind, and we'll go into its parameters. And here again, we'll leave all of this hierarchy, cluster, dual quaternion, maximum influence. We want 5, and apply. Alright, so automatically you can see it's changed its color. That means it's working. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop this video because it's getting a little long, and in the next video I'll show you how I go about weighting the skin weights, so I can get a good deformation when I move my joints. So I'll see you in the next video.